These are the Silapathikaram classical text of Tamil. Tholkaappiyam is the oldest text literature as well as the grammar in Tamil. This is the fountain of all literature and grammar in Tamil. Porul is a treasure trove of history. And the longest among Pathu-paattu, Madurai Kanji, which is 782 lines long. Around 300 CE, the Tamil dynasty is usurped by foreign dynasties. So if Eluthu wants to only convey the story of Kannadi and Kovalan, he could have done this in some 10 verses. But he composed an entire epic. So the idea is not only Kannadi's story, but about Tamilnadu. He records every possible information about Tamilnadu in his epic. Vanakkam, hello, welcome to the short version of the fourth topic, classical text of Tamil. I also made a longer version. So for those people who want to learn about this in detail, you can refer that longer version video. For exam preparation, you can refer to the short version. So classical text, as a classical language, Tamil has ancient literature. Any literature before the 6th century CE, we call as the classical text of Tamil. This definition is also given by Central Institute of Classical Tamil, CICT.in. So there are 41 such texts: Tholkaappiyam, a grammar work; Ettu-thogai, 8 anthologies; and the Pathu-paattu, 10 idylls, long songs. This Ettu-thogai and Pathu-paattu is typically called as the Sangam literature. And then there are 18 lesser texts, what we call Padinankizhkanakku Noolgal. This is called as the Post-Sangam text, after the Sangam period. And we have two epics called also the twin epics, Silapathikaram and Manimekalai, and Muthollaayiram, an anthology which is most part lost, only some 100 songs are retrieved. And another grammar text which is dependent on Tholkaappiyam called Iraiyanaar Kalaviyal. These are the Silapathikaram classical text of Tamil. Let us quickly look at them one by one. Tholkaappiyam, the oldest extant literature as well as grammar in Tamil. So the very first book available to us, all the other books are lost. There are supposed to be 3 Sangams, and whatever we get are mostly from the 3rd Sangam. The previous 2 Sangams were engulfed by ocean. Tholkaappiyam is said to be belonging to the 2nd Sangam, and it somewhat survived. So this is the oldest text literature as well as the grammar in Tamil. This is the fountain of all literature and grammar in Tamil. We can in a way say that. So it's a grammar treatise, grammar of Tamil. This is organized into 3 books. Adhigaram we call. So Eluthu-thogai, Soll-adhigaram and Porul-adhigaram. Eluthu-thogai deals with phonology, letters and sounds and things related to that. Soll-adhigaram deals with morphology, syntax and semantics, and also conjoining rules, punarchi. Porul-adhigaram deals with a very unique grammar called context grammar, content and context grammar for Tamil. All the books are further classified into 9 chapters. So there are 27 chapters in Tholkaappiyam. I'll quickly go through the chapters. I have translated the chapter titles for you. So Eluthu-thogai, it's all about letters, phonology, Tamil letters, how they are organized, how they are articulated, what is their position, allowed position in a word. So all letters cannot appear in all the positions, initial, medial and final positions of a Tamil word. So there are restrictions to that. All that are discussed in this chapter, in this book. So there are 9 chapters: Nool Marabu, definition of letters; Moli Marabu, dependent letters and positions of letters. There are, Tholkaappiyam says 3 dependent letters: Kutriyalugaram, Kutriyaligaram and Ayudha Eluthu. Later day grammarians have expanded this into 10 dependent letters. The 10 dependent letters are also mentioned in Tholkaappiyam but not explicitly. So that is Moli Marabu. Pirappiyal, which talks about the origin or articulation of these letters, sounds of Tamil. So when we say a Tamil word, Amma, how do we pronounce that? So what is the position of the vocal cord, where the air is vibrating, and how our speech organs, the tongue, palate, teeth, lips, how they are functioning. So all these are detailed here in Pirappiyal. Punariyal, so Punarchi is conjoining of letters. So Punariyal talks about that in a general sense. Thogai Marabu talks about the conjoining of case markers. So there are 8 cases in Tamil and 6 of them have case markers. Vetrumai Urubu, we say. So how Vetrumai Urubu joins with the word. Urubiyal talks about conjoining of 0 morphs. They are called the Sariyai in Tamil. So when you are adding a Vetrumai Urubu, a case marker to a word, sometimes you have to add an extra sound. So Muruganukku, Murugan ku. But when you say Murugan, we don't say Murugan ku, we say Muruganukku. So there is a uk sound. That is a zero morph. So Urubiyal talks about that. Uyir Mayangiyal talks about conjoining of words ending in vowels. Pulli is consonant. Pulli Mayangiyal talks about conjoining of words ending in consonants. Kutriyalugara Punariyal. So Kutriyalugaram is one of the dependent letters, conjoining of words ending in that shortened u sound, Kutriyalugaram sound. So these are the 9 chapters of Eluthu-thogai. Similarly, there are 9 chapters in Sollathikaram, which talks about morphology, syntax, semantics, all those things. Kilavi Akkam. Kilavi is a word. So it talks about morphology and syntax basically. Vetrimai Iyal. Vetrimai is the case system in Tamil. So this chapter deals with that. Vetrimai Mayangiyal. This talks about how some Vetrimai can appear in the meaning of some other Vetrimai, some other case, that is called deviations. So Vetrimai Mayangiyal. Vili Marabu. Vili is the 8th case, vocative case, calling someone. So Murugan. Noun, you're calling Murugan, you'd say Muruga. So how that sound changes. So that is Vili Marabu. Payar Iyal. Payar is the nouns. So this chapter deals with the nouns in Tamil. Vinay. Vinay is the verbs. This chapter Vinay Iyal deals with the verbs in Tamil. The 7th chapter is Idai Iyal. Idai Chol are particles, grammatical particles. So how they are dealt with in Tamil. Uri Chol is adjective and adverb. So a Uri Chol coming with a noun is an adjective. A Uri Chol coming with a verb is an adverb. So this chapter deals with Uri Chol, Uri Iyal. This chapter, Uri Iyal, is the forerunner of dictionaries in Tamil. So this lists some root words and their meaning and all. A single word having multiple meanings, homophones, synonyms, like that. So this is acting like a very early thesaurus or dictionary in Tamil. And Etchaviyal. Etcham is remaining, whatever is remaining. Whatever Tholkaappiyam couldn't fit in the other 8 chapters, he compiles them into this 9th chapter. So remaining or miscellaneous chapter. So these are morphology and syntax. Third book, Porul Adhikaram, is about context and the content grammar, which is a very unique thing in Tamil. Unique in the sense, see, all languages have songs and verses, prose. So there is interpretation, everything. But there is an explicit grammar in Tamil for that. So we have letters which form words, and these words form verses, prose and poetry. But how to structure a poetry and how to interpret a poetry, what are the themes that should be dealt in a poetry? So content and context grammar is dealt in the 3rd book of Tholkaappiyam called as Porul Adhikaram, Porul Ilakkanam. Porul Ilakkanam is basically divided into 2. So Agam and Puram. Agam is basically internal. So internal emotions. And that is primarily dealing with love. So a love between a man and a woman. That is dealt in Agam literature. Puram is external. That deals with dealings of a person with a society, especially a king or a chieftain. So their valor, their bravery, their wars, and their charity, magnanimity. So all these are dealt in Puram literature. So Agathinai Iyal deals with Agam grammar. Purathinai Iyal deals with the Puram grammar. So it lays out the general rules for these 2 types of Porul Ilakkanam. And Kalaviyal, Karpiyal is a further classification of Agathinai, Agam grammar. So Kalavu is clandestine love. So when 2 people fall in love, they initially keep the love to themselves and develop the love. So that stage is called Kalaviyal. And then they get married. So the married love life is called Karpiyal. And this is further thematically spread into 5 Thinais in Tamil. So very famous 5 Thinai of Tamil. Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, Palai, which we'll see later. Poruliyal deals with the general context grammar, content grammar. Meippaattu Iyal. Meippaadu is expression, manifestation of emotions in our physical body. So when you are angry, it shows in your body. When you are happy, it shows in your body. So how these are expressed. So Tholkaappiyam basically deals with these emotions, and it is very similar to the Nayan Rasa in Sanskrit, Navarasam we say, right? Nayan emotions. But in Tamil, Tholkaappiyam discusses as 8 emotions. So why the difference? The 9th emotion, 9th Rasa is Shanti, peace. So Tholkaappiyam considers the Shantam as the absence of the remaining 8 emotions. So he discusses these 8 in detail. The absence of all of them is Shantam, peace. So that is not discussed in explicit manner. So that is Meippaattu. Also this Sangam literature, if you see, they are all set in a dramatic theme. So when someone is acting like a monacting or a monologue of Sangam literature, so what expression they should show, that can be understood from Meippaattu. And Oma Iyal. Omam is simile. Omai in Tamil we say. So simile, and discusses simile primarily, but this is also the fountain for the aesthetics, ornamentation in poetry. Alangara Sastram or Ani Ilakkanam in Tamil. And Cheyyuliyal, prosody, so rules for versification, meters. So here Tholkaappiyam talks about Venpa, Asiriyappa, Kalipa, Vanjipa, and the related songs, the rules for them, the definitions for them, all those things. So this is the structure of poems, verses. So that is dealt here. Cheyyuliyal. And finally, Marabiyal. Marabiyal is any language will have some traditions, how we say something, how we express something. What are the things considered? For example, when you are saying elephant makes a sound, we say trumpet in English, elephant trumpets. Like that in Tamil, we say Yanai Piliriyadu. We don't say Yanai Kattiyadu, we say Yanai Piliriyadu, Mayil Agaviyadu. So you have to use that particular word. So that is all dealt with in Marabiyal. So these are the 27 chapters, 3 books of Tholkaappiyam, Eluthu, Sol, Porul. Tholkaappiyam serves as the foundation of the entire Tamil world, Tamil language, literature, grammar today. There are a lot of developments and deviations from Tholkaappiyam, but still this is the fountain of all those Tamil today. Next, we move on to Sangam literature. As I already mentioned, Ettu-thogai and Pathu-paattu. So there are 18 works, 18 texts here in Sangam literature. So this, whatever we now have, we generally consider it is from the third Sangam, typically dated between around 500 BC to about 300 CE. So there are 8 anthologies called Ettu-thogai. Thogai is anthologies, and these are falling under Agam or Puram. So there are Agam and Puram context we already saw. So either they fall under Agam literature or Puram literature, and there is one Paribadal which is a mixed literature. Natrinai is a collection of 400 Agam songs. These are mid-sized songs. Kurundogai is a collection of 400 short songs, 4 to 8 lines. Kurum, short, Kurundogai, so short collection. Aingurunuru is a collection of 500 Agam songs composed by 5 poets. So each poet composed 100 songs in one Thinai. Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, Palai. One Thinai is composed by one poet. That collection is called Aingurunuru. This is a commissioned work. Pathu-paattu is again a collection of 10 tens. Each poet praised one Chera emperor with 10 songs. That's called a Padiham. Like that, 10 poets praised 10 kings. These kings, Chera kings, are all related, like father, son, grandson, like that, or they are brothers. So they are related Chera kings of different generations. So they are supposed to be 100 songs. Pathu-paattu literally means 10 into 10. So 100 songs, but we lost 2 tens, the first and last 10. So only 80 songs are available now. And the Paribadal, these are a type of verses which are typically very long. So from about 25 to 400 lines long, which are set to music. So beautifully rendered for musical compositions, and these are mixed. So some of them talk about Murugan, some of them talk about Thirumal, and the Vaigai river, Madurai city, and Kottravai, Kali. So these talk about the deities and the cities and rivers. So they are mixed in Agam and Puram themes. So it's a mixture of both of them. Very beautiful songs these are. And Kali-thogai again is a collection of Agam songs set in the Kalipa meter. Generally, all these songs of Sangam literature are set in what we call Asiriyappa meter. But this Kali-thogai and Paribadal are exceptions. So Paribadal is set as Paribadal meter, whereas Kali-thogai is set in Kalipa meter. And typically long songs, and 150 songs about all the 5 Thinais. This also sung by 5 poets, each singing one Thinai. Agananuru is a collection of 400 Agam songs. These are long ones. So Kurundogai, short ones, 400 songs collection. Natrinai, medium songs, 400 collection. Agananuru, long songs of 400 collection. All of these are Agam songs sung by various poets. I have given the number of poets who sung these collections here. Puranuru is again another collection of 400 songs, but Puram themes. So that is where we get a lot of information from the history, society, many other things of the ancient Tamilhagam, ancient Sangam period. So Puranuru is a treasure trove of history. So apart from Puranuru, Pathu-paattu talks about Chera emperor. So we get a lot of information about the Chera emperors there, and many other songs directly or indirectly refers some historical events. So we get historical references from those songs also. But Puranuru is the explicit treasure trove of history for the ancient Tamilhagam. So these are the Ettu-thogai. And then we have Pathu-paattu. Pathu-paattu are 10 idylls. They are called a long song, lyrical poetry, long songs. The shortest among Pathu-paattu is Mullai-paattu. That itself is 103 lines long. And the longest one is Madurai Kanji, which is 782 lines long. So simply to read that song, you require 1 hour. So that is such a long song, lyrical poetry. And again, these 10 long songs, 6 of them are in the Puram classification, and 4 of them are somewhat in the Agam classification. And almost all the Puram classification, they are set in what is called Aatrupadai. As you can see, Tirumuruga Aatrupadai, Porunar Aatrupadai, Sirubana Aatrupadai, like that. An Aatrupadai is guiding someone. So there is basically a poet or a musician who is dependent on the generosity of some lord. So one musician, he is patronized by a lord, a king or an emperor or a small king, and he comes from that king, and he is guiding another musician to this king. That is called Aatrupadai. So he says, you go to that king, he is a good person, he knows the delicacies, nuances of hospitality, so he will take care of you, he will respect your talent, you will be rewarded according to your talent, and you will have respect from him. That respect is very important for people. So you can enjoy his hospitality. I enjoyed his hospitality. So this is a poetic framework for poets to praise their patrons. For example, Porunar Aatrupadai, so it's sung on Karigal Peruvalavan, a Chola emperor, by the poet Mudattama Kanniyar. So Mudattama Kanniyar basically wants to praise the Chola emperor. But directly praising will not be very good. So she uses this framework to praise a king. So that is the setting here. So the first song is Tirumuruga Aatrupadai, sung by Nakirar. This is praising God Murugan himself. So this is guiding a devotee towards God Murugan. Porunar Aatrupadai is guiding a Porunan, a dancer, towards Karigal Peruvalathan. Sirubana Aatrupadai is guiding a bard. A Panan is a bard who is very expertise in playing the harp yal. So Siru Panan, he is being guided. So this is sung by Nattatanar towards the king Nalliyakodan. Perumbana Aatrupadai is another type of bard. Kadiyalur Urutharangannanar is the poet who sung this song on Thondaiman Ilandirayan. And the last one, Malai Padagaram, is also an Aatrupadai, which is sung by Perungundrur Perungausiganar on King Nannan. And Mullaipattu is an Agam song. So the theme of Mullai is husband has parted the wife and he says, I will return before the rainy season. So the wife patiently waits until the rainy season for the husband to come back. But when the seasons are changing and the rainy season is going to start and there is no sign of the husband coming back, then the wife starts lamenting. That is the theme, and that is shown in this Mullaipattu very beautifully. Mullai is a Thinai, it's a theme. There are hundreds of songs in Mullai Thinai, but this particular song is called Mullaipattu. So which means this is the epitome of this Mullai theme. Everything you want to know about Mullai Thinai, you can read this one song and know. That is the idea, sung by Nappudanar. And Madurai Kanji is a long free advice. It is a didactic work set in the Kanji meter, which is a Kanji theme, which is giving advice to the king. So Madurai Kanji is basically a long advice sung by Mangudi Mardanar for Pandian Nedunjadiyan, 782 lines long. Imagine that. Nedunal Vadai is another Agam song. I consider this as an Agam song. Many commentators consider this as a Puram song, because in Agam literature you should not mention name. But in this song, the king's garland is mentioned. It's mentioned as Neem. Neem is the garland for Pandya kings. So Nakirar is the author of this song. So Nakirar's patron is the Pandya king Nedunjadiyan. So it sort of reveals his name. So people consider this to be a Puram song, but basically it's an Agam song except for this one small deviation. So Nedunal Vadai again talks about the partition between husband and wife, and the wife waiting for the husband, and seasons changing and all those things. Kurinji Pattu, again another Agam song in Kurinji theme, Kurinji Thinai, sung by Kabilar. This is again the epitome of Kurinji. Here in this song, Kabilar lists 99 flowers. And Pattina Palai, again another Agam song set in the Palai theme. So Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, Palai. So we have Mullai, Kurinji and Palai, all these here. Pattina Palai is another very beautiful song sung by Kadiyalur Urutharangannanar. He praises his patron king Karigal Peruvalathan using this song. And Malai Padagaram is another Aatrupadai song. So Koothar Aatrupadai. So Koothar, drama troupe like people. So they are being guided towards the king Nannan. So that these are the 10 long songs, the Pathu-paattu of Sangam literature. And then we come to the Post-Sangam period, Sangam Marubiyakalam. Sangam period is characterized by Tamil dynasties, prominence to Tamil and golden age of Tamil and all. But after that, around 300 CE, the Tamil dynasties are usurped by some other foreign dynasties, typically coming from the north part of Tamilnadu, present day Karnataka, Andhra regions. We don't have solid information about these people, but we know that they are called Kalappirar or Kalabras, and they took over Tamilnadu and they ruled, and they give prominence to Prakrit languages. And Tamil was put in the back burner, but still Tamil poets were functioning and they were creating beautiful text. So they are not completely shunned, but they are not given the prominence. That is the problem. This social and political change is reflected in the literature also. So from very long songs, they come to didactic works and the short songs. So in Sangam songs are characterized by larger collections and longer songs. So you can see a typical Sangam song is about 10 to 20 lines long, and the collection is about 100 to 400 100 songs. Whereas this post-Sangam period, the average is about 40 songs per text and typically composed by a single author. There's only one anthology here. And Venpa verses are used here. Sangam literature uses Athiriyapa meter, whereas this uses Venpa meter. Athiriyapas are typically sung in a long form, whereas Venpa is typically sung in 4 lines. So we see all those differences here. I have summarized in the table column, or you can refer to my longer version for more details here. So let us look at this post-Sangam literature, which are called 18 lesser texts. So once again, we have 18 texts. Lesser only in the number and length of the songs, not in quality. Greater or lesser, not in quality. But typically, we Tamil people, we respect the Sangam literature slightly more than any other literature. That is there, of course. So let us quickly have a glimpse of these 18 songs here. Naladiyar, which is a collection of 400 didactic verse, each verse sung by one Jain monk. So it's the only anthology in this collection, very similar to Thirukkural in context. Naladiyar basically means 4-liners, right? That's a Venpa song. Manimekalai, again a collection of Venpa songs sung by Vilambi Naganar. Each verse contains 4 ideas, wise ideas or concepts. That's why it's called a non-money kadigai. A kadigai is a jewel. Non-money is 4 gems. So a jewel with 4 gems. So each verse is like a jewel with 4 gems. Similarly, Inna Narpadu, a collection of 40 songs sung by a poet called Kabilar. This Kabilar is a different one from Sangam literature Kabilar. So the 40 songs, each song contains 4 ideas which are inna, not desirable, unpleasant situations or things. So we should avoid them in life. A complementary of Inna Narpadu is Iniyave Narpadu. So this collection of 40 verse, each Venpa, it talks about 4 good things, pleasant things or sweet things which we should do in life, like hospitality, speaking good to others. So this is sung by Budam Sendanar. And then Kar Narpadu, this is set in Mullai theme, Mullai Thinai. 40 Venpa verses set in the Mullai theme, same as Mullai Pattu. So the husband has parted, he's supposed to come back before the rainy season. The rainy season started, but he is not coming back. So the heroine is worried. The heroine's friend is consoling her, or the heroine herself is saying something to console her. And some songs shows the husband returning. So he is hasting the charioteer to go fast. So all these are beautiful songs here. And Kalavadi Narpadu, the only Puram themed collection in this 18 lesser text, sung by Poigayar. Poigayar is patronized by the Chera king, Kanakkal Irumborai. The legend says he went to war against the Chola king Chenganan and lost the battle. So Chenganan took him as prisoner of war. There's one song which refers to this battle in Purananuru. According to that version, the Chera king dies in prison. But according to this text, Kalavadi Narpadu, the Chera king is a prisoner of war. Poigayar goes to the Chola king and praises his battle as this text, Kalavadi Narpadu, sings 40 Venpa verses praising the battle of the Chola king. The Chola king Chenganan becomes very pleased and he asks Poigayar for what gift he wants, and he asks for his king, Chera king, to be released. So the Chera king is released and his land is given back. That is the legend we see in this text. So that is talking about the battlefield. Kalam is battlefield. So Kalavadi Narpadu, 40 Venpa verses talking about the battlefield of the Chola king, Puram theme. And Aindinai Aimbudu. So there are like many of these Agam songs, collection of verses in the 5 Thinais. So we have Aindinai Aimbudu sung by Maran Porayanar. Aimbudu is 50. Aindinai is all the 5 Thinai. So 10 songs per Thinai. Aindinai Aimbudu. Thinai Mudi Aimbudu is sung by Kannan Chendanar. So again another collection of 50 Agam songs, 10 songs per Thinai. And Aindinai Elubudu, 70 songs. So 14 verses per Thinai, sung by Muvadiyar. And Thinai Malai Nutri Aimbudu, again similarly 150 song collections, 30 or 31 songs per Thinai. So 150 sung by Kani Medaviyar. And Thirukkural deserves its own post. So you refer my longer version. Thirukkural is very famous. A didactic work, 1330 couplets. So all the other Venpas are typically 4, 5 or 6 lines long. But this one are 2 lines, 2-liners, very short verses, couplets. So we call Kural. Kural means couplets. And the Thirukkural, Thiru is a respective prefix we give. So very famous work, translated into about 45 world languages. And there are English translations. So I strongly recommend you read Thirukkural. So Thirukkural is basically divided into 3 books. Arathupal, Porutpal and Kamathupal. So Aram is virtue, Porul is statecraft, wealth, all those things. Kamathupal is again love themes between man and woman and all those things. Like the Purushartham in Sanskrit we say Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksham. So Thirukkural also deals with Dharma, Aram, virtue, Artha, Porul, wealth and statecraft, Kama, Kamathupal, love, and moksha. So if you follow Tirukural in your life, you definitely get moksha. Veedu, we say in Tamil. So that is a Tirukural work. And Tirikadugam. Tirikadugam is, Tirikadugam is basically three ingredients put together. Hot spices, milagu and tippili. So dried ginger, pepper and long pepper. So put together, that makes a very nice medicine for the body, especially for digestion. Like this, the work Tirukadugam, each verse in Tirukadugam contains three didactic principles. That is why the name, a beautiful simile is given as a name here. So there are 101 songs, each containing three didactic ideas. This is like a medicine for the mind. Similarly, Achara Kovai is a collection of discipline, traditions, protocols. Acharam is what you are supposed to follow. So what protocols, principles, disciplines people followed at that time, almost some 1400 to 1800 years back. So that you can learn from this Achara Kovai, collection of 100 Venpa songs. And Paramodi Nanuru. Paramodi in Tamil is a proverb or an adage, a wise saying. This Paramodi Nanuru is a collection of 400 Venpa verses. Each Venpa verse will end in a Paramodi, in an adage or a proverb. So the Venpa verse will be an illustration of that proverb. So some proverb is explained in a Venpa verse, and the proverb itself is embedded at the end of the Venpa verse. So that is the beautiful composition of Paramodi Nanuru, sung by Iraiyanaar. And then we have Sirupanja Moolam. So Sirupanja Moolam is another medicinal composition. Moolam means root. So there are five. Pancha is five. So Siru Panja Moolam is five roots. So the five roots are Kandankatri, Siru Validunai, Siru Malli, Perumalli and Nerinji. So these are the five roots used in Siddha medicine to treat various ailments. Like that, each verse, each Venpa verse in this didactic work contains five ideas or concepts, didactic nature, which will be helpful for the soul or the mind or for life, like that. So that's called the Sirupanja Moolam, composed by Karyasan. And then we have Mudumori Kanji. See, this is the only work in Padinan Kanakku which is not in a Venpa meter. All the other works are in Venpa meter. This is not in Venpa meter. We can say this is in Kalipa meter. So this is a collection of 10 liners. Each song is like 10 lines. All of them starting with the same line. Aargali Ulagathu Makkalukkellam. And then it lists 10 things about a particular theme. For example, education, Kalvi, Alagu, beauty. What is beauty? So it lists 10 ideas. What is beauty? So that is this Mudumori Kanji. So Kanji is again, you remember Madurai Kanji. So Kanji is again didactic or advice nature. So Mudumori Kanji is like, adage in the Kanji meter, sung by Madurai Kudalur Kira. And Eladi, Elam is cardamom. Eladi refers to a composition, a medicinal composition of 6 ingredients which are typically used in food, spices, but they are also having medicinal qualities like elam, cardamom, lavanga pattai, cinnamon, naga kesaram, which is a Ceylon ironwood, and milagu, black pepper, and tippili, long pepper, and chukku, dried ginger. So this 6 composition is used in food and which is very good for health and digestion, cures a lot of ailments and all. Like that, Eladi songs, they each contain 6 ideas, 6 wise ideas, which is good for the mind, soul. So this is again composed by Kani Medaviyar. He is the only poet who have composed 2 works in this collection. And lastly, we have Kainilai, which we can also call as Aindinai Arubadu. So there are 60 songs set in the 5 Tinais, but we have lost 15 of those songs. Only 45 are available. So Aindinai Aimbadu, Aindinai Elubadu, Tinai Mori Aimbadu, Tinai Malai Nutri Aimbadu, Kainilai, they are all set in Agam literature. The various Tinais, all the 5 Tinais are dealt in different verses of these songs. So these are the 18 lesser text, lesser only in the length of the song and the number of songs in the collection, but no way in quality. So they are very good songs. In fact, if you want to learn Tamil literature, you can actually start here because these are smaller songs. So if you want to learn Agam literature, you can start with Aindinai Aimbadu or Kainilai, like that. Because they are small songs, it's easy to grasp, understand them, and then you can move on to graduate yourself to Sangam literature and go deeper into those songs. So very nice collection of songs. And then we come to the epics, the twin epics, Silapathikaram and Manimekalai. Both are composed within that 600, 7th century. Typically, I consider them to be from the 2nd or 3rd century CE. But some researchers say they are from the 6th or 7th century CE. So that is debatable. Now, Silapathikaram is a very beautiful epic. Also a very prominent epic. See, this is an epic of Tamilnadu. Silapathikaram, you ask any Tamil people, they will say it's about the story of Kannagi, Kovalan and Madhavi. That is a simple story. Kannagi and Kovalan are husband and wife. Kovalan gets in love with Madhavi, makes her a consort, and abandons Kannagi for sometimes. And then he realizes his mistake and comes back to Kannagi. And they want to start a new life. They go to another city. They go to Madurai from their native place of Pugar. And there Kovalan gets killed by a mistake, and Kannagi asks for justice, and she destroys the Madurai city and comes to Vanji, capital of the Chera king. And there she attains liberation. She takes up a penance, and her husband in a divine chariot from heaven comes and takes her. And some tribal people saw it, and they go and report this to the Chera king. There, with the Chera king, two poets are present. One is the brother of the Chera king himself. He is the author of this epic, Ilango Adigal. And another poet, Sithalai Satana, the author of the second epic. So Sithalai Satana says this deserves to be an epic. And Ilango Adigal says, I will myself write this epic. The thing is, so if Ilango Adigal wants to only convey the story of Kannagi and Kovalan, he could have done this in some 10 verses. But he composed an entire epic. So that the idea is not only Kannagi's story, but about Tamilnadu. He records every possible information about Tamilnadu in his epic. So you have to listen to my detailed version for those things. See, simple concept. He is classifying, he is structuring his epic into 3 parts. And these 3 parts he names after the capital city of the 3 emperors, prominent emperors of Tamilnadu. Chera, Chola, Pandya. So Pugar Kandam, Madurai Kandam and Vanji Kandam. These are the 3 cantos, sections of the epic. Pugar is the capital city of Chola. Madurai is the capital city of Pandyas, and Vanji is the capital city of Cheras. Here itself we can see he is already decided this is about Tamilnadu. And he made this as the epic of 3 Tamils, Iyal, Isai, Nadagam. Prose Tamil, musical Tamil and dramatic Tamil. And it's a treasure trove of music, art, history, architecture. So many information is there. And then we have Manimekalai, which is a sort of a continuation of Silapathikaram. So Manimekalai is the daughter of Kovalan and Kannagi. So this epic depicts Manimekalai's life, who becomes a Buddhist monk. And she gets this Amuda Surabhi, Akshaya Patram, which will give any amount of food. So she goes on a mission to eradicate poverty. And she also takes up religious debates, philosophical debates with the various schools, thought schools, religious schools, philosophical schools of the then Tamilnadu. So there are about 11 schools Manimekalai debates with. And this epic is also set in 30 Kadai chapters, subsections of the epic, sung by Sithalai Satanar, as I already mentioned, who is a contemporary of Silango Adigal. This again gives a lot of information, especially about the religious views, philosophical schools of the then Tamilnadu or the overall India, we can say. So in that sense, it's a very important epic. And then Muthollaayiram. Muthollaayiram is an anthology which is a contemporary of these works. So that is why it's put under these works. So it's about 5th century CE. Now the title could be interpreted in 2 ways. So Muthollaayiram. Thollaayiram is 900. Mu is 3. So whether it is 3 900 songs, so that will be a total of 2,700 songs, or it's a collection of 300 songs accounting to 900. So either way, we have lost almost all of those songs except for around 108 songs recovered from another text which quotes these songs. Otherwise, you would have lost even these 100 songs also. Now, Muthollaayiram is praising the 3 prominent emperors of Tamilnadu, Chera, Chola and Pandya. So if it is 900 per emperor or 300 per emperor, we are not sure, but we get about 108 songs, majority of them for Pandyan Empire. And these are all set in a literary framework called Kaikilai. So Kaikilai is a single-sided love, one-sided love. So these songs are set as expressions of a woman who is fallen in love with these emperors, a woman or her friend or her mother, like that. These songs are set, and through that point of view, the poet or poets, again we don't know whether single author or multiple authors, the poet expresses praising of those emperors. Finally, we come to the last but not the least text of the 41 classical text. This is called Iraiyanaar Porul or Iraiyanaar Kalaviyal. So this is a grammar which is very similar to Tholkaappiyam. So the story of this grammar, the background, why this work was composed, it goes like this. So people in the Pandyan territory, the third Sangam people, were using Tholkaappiyam as their grammar. And during that time, the Pandyan kingdom encountered 12 years of famine and drought. So the Pandyan king says to all the poets that I'm not able to patronize you. So you go to different lands, whoever is able to patronize you, you go there. And when the country becomes a country again, when we get rainwater and become rich again, when I'm able to patronize you again, I will call you back. So he sends all the poets out. And after 12 years, when the drafts are over, he sends emissaries to all directions and bring all the poets back. He realizes that he has experts in Ettu-thogai and Solladikaram. So remember the three books of Tholkaappiyam: Eluthu-thogai, Phonology, Solladikaram, Morphology, Syntax, Semantics, and finally Porul-thogai, Context, Content, Grammar. But he finds there are no experts. He lost them. And they became very worried. So because you learn phonetics, you learn morphology, syntax, everything about language, but if you are not able to compose poems with that, what is the use of this? So he goes to the god Shiva himself of Madurai, Alavai, Iraiyanaar. He goes to Shiva himself and laments and expresses his grief, and Shiva decides to help him. Shiva is the god patron of the Pandya kings himself. So he decides to help, and he composes Porul-thogai, the grammar, in 60 Nurpa aphorisms, engraves them in copper plates, and donates that to the king. And the king gives back that to the poets, Sangam poets, and that is the work Iraiyanaar Porul. Now they want to interpret the work. So the poets set to interpret, and each poet, there are 49 poets in the Sangam. Each poet interprets the text in a different manner. Each of them comes with a commentary, somewhat contradicting to each other. So again, they don't know which commentary is correct, which one to follow. So once again, they pray to the god, and the god indicates a small boy, a 5-year-old boy, who is mute. But the god says, don't underestimate him. He is the incarnation of Lord Murugan himself. So you go to him, put him on a pedestal, and then you all read your commentary to that boy. Whenever he hears the correct commentary, then he will get horripilation in his body and he will start shedding tears. So all the 49 poets read their commentary. Only for Nakira's commentary, the boy gets horripilation and sheds tears for each and every word. So thereby they understand Nakira's commentary is the correct commentary, authentic commentary, and that sustains. So that is the preface of this commentary by Nakira of this work. The Nakira's commentary for this Iraiyanaar Porul, which is the first prose available in Tamil. So all the work for many centuries were in poetical forms, versification. But this is the instant of prose. And also this leads to all the later day 10th, 11th century up to 15th century, we get commentaries. A lot of commentaries arise. And then after the coming of Europeans, then explicit prose forms develop in Tamil. But before that, this is the first instance. This is somewhat around 3rd century to 7th century. So this is the first instance of prose. And also this is the first explicit mention of the Sangams. So the preface mentions 3 Sangams of Tamil and gives an account of all the poets and the patrons and the works done, but many of them are lost. So that's all mentioned here in this commentary. And this work itself is very similar to Tholkaappiyam, but Tholkaappiyam discusses all the Agam themes, Agathinai, Kalaviyal, Karpiyal, Poruliyar, in 4 chapters in 212 aphorisms Tholkaappiyam discusses, but it's a condensed version in 60 aphorisms is given in this work. So it's a very important work in this historical context. So these are the 41 classical texts in Tamil, each very important, prominent, also very beautiful and very deep in its own right. So I really encourage you to start exploring about them. But as a exam answer, you just know what is what. That will be good enough for you. So thank you very much for listening to this, and do give a like and subscribe to my channel, and share with your classmates, friends, and all. I also leave your comments and feedback. I'm very eager to know that. Thank you. See you in the next video.